What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I'm your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great hump day. That's right, it is Wednesday, middle of the week here. We are all ready for that initial injury report. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about, some of the injuries we have. Talk about the practice squad shake up, and then take a look at what the practice squad looks like now. Now, we did add a player that has not been on the practice squad before, so we'll talk about him briefly. But any questions or comments that you have are more than welcome, so leave them down below. This is not going to be a live video, but I'd love to hear all of your thoughts. And if you have any questions about any of these things, again, please feel free to comment down below. Appreciate you hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, but let's jump right into this. So up first, some damn good news. Jordan Davis has his 21-day practice window activated. So let's go. We know that this young man with a high ankle sprain, how much of a loss this was to the Eagles defense. So this is great news that his window has been activated, but this does not mean that he will be playing this week. This gives him 21 days, as it says there, the 21-day window, to come off of the IR. So this just means that they feel good enough that within 3 weeks, he could come off here. He could come off this week. I have no idea. I don't think that we should rush him back. It's a high ankle sprain, so pretty crazy that he is looking good after 4 weeks. So I love it, but do not want to see him, get hurt for the rest of the season. So whatever time it takes, take that time. But he has 21 days. Within that, if he is, not taken off of IR, it would be season ending. Now, that doesn't usually happen once these guys get the window activated because it looks like they're on the right path. The only thing that could happen is, you have a setback, something like that. So we don't want any of that, but we will be hopeful that he gets taken off of the IR. So when you're looking at the injury report later today and throughout the week, he will not be on it until he comes off of that IR, but we will keep our eye on him. And now that he has that window activated, he can be at practice. Let's go. So up next, let's talk about the practice squad. We made a few moves here. We added a few players, got rid of one, and we had 3 spots open already. We ended up getting rid of someone today, so that opened up 4, but we added 3 players, so therefore you still have 1 spot open. But let's take a look at the moves the Eagles made here. They added wide receiver and kick returner Kawaan Baker. Tyrese Robinson's back, and so is Auden Tate. So if you guys missed those videos talking about Tyrese Robinson, his time with Jalen Hurts, Auden Tate as a wide receiver, maybe used as a tight end at times, go check those old videos out. But Kawaan Baker, he is new to this squad, and then released from the practice squad, Marvin Wilson. So like me some Marvin Wilson, but hey, this is musical chairs here. We are adding guys that we are going to need, and one of the guys is Kawaan Baker, as I just mentioned here. And if you guys have been following me, you know that I was able to actually sit down with Kawaan Baker last year, had a nice little interview with him, and really great kid. So I was excited about his future, watching him get drafted, going to the Saints. I was excited for him. Do not like the Saints, but he was let go, got himself a little suspension there, but it's all good. So let's take a look, though. And now he has, I think, like 2 special teams tackles in his NFL career. He's played in like 2 games, so nothing crazy there. Let's take a look at his South Alabama numbers here. So 6'1", 210. He has 1 year experience, 24 years old. And then we talk about being out of South Alabama, drafted by the Saints in the 7th round, picked 255 last year. And, couldn't really find his way there. That suspension didn't help anything. So hoping that a change of scenery can maybe do something for this young man. Really love his talent here, what he's able to do, catching the ball and running the ball. You see here, 1,829 yards, 14.5 yards per reception, 46.9 per game, 16 touchdowns there, and then 11 rushing touchdowns, 4.1 yards per carry there at 376 yards. So the dude put the ball in his hands. He's a playmaker. So look, he's on the practice squad right now, so it's not like he's on the roster. But you see, the one thing that he is able to do is kick return. Now, we have Covey, who's punt returning here. And I'm sure Kawaan Baker would give it a shot there. He didn't do it at South Alabama, but he has an 18.7 yard average. Not the greatest in the world, but he's got some experience there. And again, I feel that it's bigger for the Eagles than just the return man. I think we got to start blocking. So we'll see what they decide to do. But bringing in guys to push others, I love to see it. So happy to see Kawaan Baker. Hopefully he maybe gets elevated one day. Maybe he gets signed to the active roster. Hoping nothing but the best for him. Love to see him now with the Philadelphia Eagles organization. But let's take a look at this practice squad now. Evened out a little bit more. You saw yesterday the defense was loaded, but here is a look at the updated practice squad now. So you see that's 16 guys listed here, but Matt Leo does not count because of the international player program, makes him exempt. So therefore, the Eagles still have an open practice squad spot, and we'll see where Howie decides to go with it. Maybe Malcolm Jenkins starts there, then gets elevated, gets signed to the active roster. I'm not sure what exactly is going to happen here. I know a lot of you guys have been talking about Malcolm, so hey, I'd be all for it, man. But there's also guys on other rosters and teams, that I think that they're looking at and would be, look, I love Malcolm Jenkins again, but I think that someone with some upside is, probably who they're looking at. You've seen guys like Blair and Guidry added on to the practice squad. So we'll see which route the Eagles go, but you add Malcolm Jenkins to that locker room, dude, I'd be all for it. So let's go, baby. Howie, whatever you have planned, I'm all for it. And whenever that happens, I will be back letting you know what they decide to do with the practice squad, whatever else they do. And then I will be back later today with the initial injury report. So I hope to see you then. But until then, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You stay safe out there. And as always, go Birds!